day. My name is Harita Ashari Sired, and today I'm going to present you my chosen invention from the Renaissance period, which is the early compound microscope. The Zacharias Johnson is generally believed to be the first creditor to invent the compound microscope together with the help of his father. They were spectacle makers in the Netherlands who are credited with inventing the first compound microscope on the year 1590s. So it was early period of the Renaissance. So at the time, eyeglasses were beginning to be used widely among the populace, focusing a great deal of attention on optics and lenses. So they invented the microscope out of a desire to see small objects more clearly. At the time, there was a growing interest in studying the natural world, and the invention of the microscope allowed scientists to see tiny organisms that previously invisible to the naked eye. So the device rose vertically from a brass tripod shaped like it was almost 2.5 feet long. So the microscope works by using lenses to magnify objects, allowing them to be seen in a greater detail. So in a compound microscope, there are two lenses. First is an objective lens and the eyepiece lens. The objective lens collects light from the object being viewed and magnifies it, while the eyepiece lens further magnifies the image for the viewer. So by combining these lenses, the Johnsons were able to create a microscope that could magnify objects up to 10 times their actual size, so revolutionizing scientific research and discovery. Although this kind of early microscope was more primitive, but it gave other ideas, or it propels another inventions, revolutionizing the advancement of early microscopes.
Now, the next one is the Galileo's thermometer. So, here is the picture po of the Galileo's thermometer. Now, Galileo's thermometer is a glass sealed tube that is filled with clear liquid. Now, yung clear liquid po na yun, hindi po siya basta-basta liquid, but rather a mixture of ethanol, or what we call the alcohol, and water. And of course, it has a density. Now, if you have noticed, meron po tayong mga small glass bubbles na sa inside po ng tube, and they have different colors. And also, if you have noticed, meron po tayong like tag po na nakahang po sa bottom ng each bubbles na po dito. Na yung tag po na yun is meron po siyang corresponding number. So, hindi lang po siya masyadong klaro. Meron po siyang corresponding number which also corresponds to the degree of temperature. Now, each of these bubbles, no, iba-iba po sila ng laki ng liquid inside. So, yung mass din po ng mga tag na nakahang po sa kanila is iba-iba din po sila ng mass. Iba-iba din po sila ng bigat, which is then calibrated po yung mga weight nila. So all in all, yung mga bubble po na nasa inside ng tube na to is they have different density and mass. But the density of each of these bubbles that is inside in this tube is very similar or close po to the density density ng clear tube na that is filled with this sealed glass. Now, how does this thermometer works? Now, this type of thermometer is usually ginagamit po siya inside the room. Kasi na, if you're going to use it outside, very sensitive po to when to hot temperature, or when it is being put on under the sun. Now, how does this thermometer works? Now, as you have noticed, no, meron pong nasa bubbles na nasa top, and meron pong nasa baba. Now, if the temperature is hot, the bubble po, usually nagsisink po sila. Kasi po na yung liquid or yung density po na nasa inside the tube is, if hot po yung temperature, usually nag-expand po siya. So that only means na yung bubbles po, itong mga colored na yan, bababa po sila. Nagsisink po sila into the bottom. Now, if nagsink po yung to the bottom, and then yung nagsink po na bubble to the bottom na yun is meron po siyang number na 24 degree, that only mean na yung temperature po is nasa 24 degrees. Now, if that 24, yung mga bubble po na nasa sink, nasa bottom is mag-rise po sila, yung pinakahuli po na bubble na nasa top is yun po yung temperature. Which is then meaning if nasa taas, meaning po low po yung temperature. And if nagsisink po yung bubble, meaning high po yung temperature. Kasi na, if yung temperature po is low, yung tendency po ng density ng fluid na nasa inside the tube is nagko-contract po sila. And if it is hot, nag-i-expand naman po sila. Now, the very reason kung bakit po in-invent ni Galileo itong thermometer na po niya, because in 1500s, Galileo came up with an ingenious solution. So, he understand that the air tends to expand when it is hot, when the temperature is hot, and then it contracts when the temperature is low. So, the fact that alam niya po yun, so ginamit na po yung reason na yun, ginamit na po yung knowledge na yun to study the relationship between the liquid's temperature and its density. So, that is the reason bakit po siya naka-invent ng ganitong type of thermometer, in which very, very peculiar po siya sa usually na mga thermometer na kasanayan natin gawin at yung mga familiar po sa atin.
Assalamualaikum everyone. I'm Aishani Madirampaten and I'm going to discuss my chosen topic, which is printing press during the Renaissance period. So a printing press is a machine by which text and images are transferred from a movable type of paper or other media by means of ink. The printing press significantly accelerated the spread of ideas and knowledge during the Renaissance. It was invented by Johannes Gutenberg, and this invention have revolutionized the way of information being disseminated, making it more accessible and affordable. So how does a printing press work? An ink is applied to the plate cylinder, which rolls against the rubber cylinder, which in turn rolls the ink onto the sheets of the paper fed through the press. Offset presses are used to mass produce newspapers, magazines, books, and other printed materials.